Good. Well, welcome back to our 100-day Awakened Imagination Challenge. And as I've explained, this is a short training session, short video training sessions in regards of applying the 100-day Awakened Imagination Challenge. Like I said in the previous video, what is important to understand is that the Awakened Imagination has the ability to be a partaker of the opposites in our lives. You and I have to realize that every single thing we experience in our lives currently has been in somebody's imagination. The house that you live in, the car that you drive, the clothes that you wear, every single thing was first in somebody's imagination. And Genesis 11:6 says, nothing they imagined will be impossible for you. So if we create through imagination, we have also now to ask and answer the following question. Why don't we then experience optimal results in our lives? Good results, in other words. Well, because most people use the imagination by default instead of by design. So what we're going to do is in these training sessions is we're going to teach you how to actually start using your imagination by design instead of by default. In other words, not let life happen to you, but create the life that you actually want to experience. Now in this short training session today, we're going to look at the concept of the world that we live in. Now this is important if we do not realize and understand that there's a basic foundation that everything in life rests on. We won't be able to use it. Now everything becomes easy if you actually know how to do it. So today in the world we live in, I'm going to build a foundation for the next video that we're going to present to you, and that's the structure of the experience. But just bear with me, because if we understand the world we live in, we can create different realities in our lives. The very first thing that you have to realize about the world that we live in, now thinking back to the previous video, I said we all have a past, a present experience, and a future expectation. So what is important is we have to go back to our past and see what actually goes on in our past. So the very first thing that we start off with is the fact that every single person in this universe has a past. Now what I'm saying by that is not all people have the same past. I'm saying that the cycles that you run through in life is the fact that you have a past. Now what flows out of your past is your past will determine the rules that you apply in life. Now rules, we can associate that with programs. If you look at a computer has a hard drive and it has software on the computer. So your hard drive is actually your mind, subconscious mind, conscious mind in regards to that. And I'll explain a little bit more about that as we go on. But the essence here is your rules are the software that you actually put on your hard drive. So you've got this clean slate when you start off in life, being born as a baby. And then we get the software from our parents, teachers and preachers and all the people that we associate with. Now many of those programs are not positive programs. They are mostly, well, anyhow in my experience working with people, negative programs. But just bear that in mind as we go on. So our rules, our programs will always, there is no exception to the rule of this specific model that I'm putting up here. So the very next thing that's going to happen is your rules will always determine your attitude. Now we've all heard the beautiful sayings about attitude. Attitude determines altitude, attitude determines direction, which is in fact true, because your attitude in the end will determine how much effort you put in to experience different results in your life. Your attitude will always, and again this is a given fact, there's no exception to this rule, your attitude will always determine your actions. Always. It's like emotions. If you feel good about yourself, you perform better. If you feel bad about yourself, you perform worse. It's a given fact. So your actions will always determine, your attitude will always determine your actions. And your actions, guess what's going to do? Your actions is going to give you results. Every single time, there's no exception to these rules. Your actions will determine your results. And guess what's going to happen? Your results will become your future. What you and I have to realize about memories is, whatever you are experiencing today will be tomorrow's memories. So a bit of a warning word, be careful in how you collect your memories. Because if today will be tomorrow's memory and we want to start creating by design, we have to predetermine then how we want to create this day that we experience currently. Does it make sense? Alright, good stuff. So your results will determine your future, and guess what's going to happen? Your future will become your past again. And your model is completed. That's the basic bottom line in regards of this. So your past determine your rules your attitude determine your actions your results, your results will become your future, and your future then will become your past. Now again, if you have a negative past, most probably you'll have negative rules, negative attitude, negative actions, negative results, and then a negative future, which will build on the fact that you'll have then a memory bank that says you are the black sheep of the family. Now that's not a given, it's not cast in concrete. You and I can always make a decision to change this model and start anew and afresh in our lives. Now, if it is possible to start over with our lives, which is a given fact, I mean, I've trained thousands of people that actually changed their lives at first incrementally and then exponentially to experience the life of their dreams. So if we can use this model to change our lives, where do we actually start? Well, most people, when I say let's use this model to change what we are currently experiencing, most people will say to me, okay, but let's change our actions, what we do, which is a given fact. We have to change our actions. But in this little model, your action comes from your attitude. And then people will say to me, okay, then we have to change our attitude. Okay, it's also true. We have to change our attitude. But guess what? Your attitude comes from your rules or your programming then. All right? Okay, then we have to change our rules and our programming. Yeah, but hang on a sec. Where does our rules and programming come from? Well, our rules and programming come from our past. Now, this is where we fall in a trap, because most people say, but your past is a given, you cannot change that. No, it's not true. We can change our past through the way we remember our past. So we can actually go back into our past experience and revise the negative things into a positive thing. In other words, you play acting. You behave as if you're a child. My students get taught a principle which is called the 4 quadrants of life. And the 4 quadrants of life entails the following concept. You have to think like God. Well, that's not rocket science, because God thinks without limits. You have to think like God, command like a king. If you decree a thing, it will be so. Job says that. Command like a king. Then you have to live like a millionaire and play like a child. Now, obviously, the question is, if we use these 4 quadrants, where should we change and where should we start? And most people will again say, yeah, but we will start by thinking like God. No, actually, you start by playing like a child. Can you remember, as a child, nothing was impossible for you. You dreamed about fairies and cars and it's all those things. It was real to you in the dream world of reality. Therefore, the essence of our training is also involved in the concept that says nothing is impossible in your dream world for you. And as a matter of fact, the word impossible only exists in the dictionary of a fool. Okay, you're not a fool, are you? Good stuff. I love it when a plan comes together. So what we're going to do is now following model. I'm going to explain to you how the structure of experience works and how we can actually tap into our past apparent realities, or then perceived or illusion realities of the past. We can recreate that or revise it to experience different results in life. But to do that, we have to understand that this whole model here rests on the shoulders of the structure of experience. Every single thing you experience in life, there is a specific structure to that. Once you and I discover that structure, we can use the structure and then create our lives by design instead of by default. Well, I'm sure that you're quite curious about what the structure to experience is, so this is Ockert signing off. I'll see you in the next video then.
Remember to watch the rest of the video series of the Awakened Imagination Challenge Module 1. You can also follow us on Twitter or friend us on Facebook. Or even better, subscribe on our website at ockertmoller.com to get tons of additional life-changing information and instant answers to your questions, thus fast-tracking your way to success.